Hi, my name is Katie. I like comics. This is what I read this week. The final issue of the Ultimates 24. I loved this book overall. I really liked that it felt very experimental for something that Big Two did. It's kind of how the entire Ultimate Universe has felt and something I really appreciated. This issue specifically was one of the most satisfying single chapters of a story I've ever read. It was an ending that had been built up to for 2 years, and I think Camp really knocked it out of the park. And then the final issue of Phantom of the Opera. This was amazing. The highlight is definitely art. Martin Simmons, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I have to cover this because it's a spoiler. Just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I understand why he doesn't do more comics because this cover's also by him. That's a crazy amount of effort. But for what we got out of Phantom of the Opera, and I believe he also did the Dracula, like generational art coming out of these books. Now, as far as the story, loved it. I've read the book, so I guessed the twist almost immediately. I believe before the book even began to come out and I just heard about it, I kind of had anticipated what they were going to do because it's a subversion of the musical, which is what people primarily know Phantom of the Opera as. Now, that being said, that did not change my enjoyment of the book. I think if you rely on no spoilers and the twist being something that people can't see coming for your story to be enjoyed, I don't think you're a very strong writer or artist. I think that the getting there should be enjoyable enough in of itself that doesn't matter. This was definitely that. The spoiler, again, if you've read the book, you can probably guess what that is. I'm not going to say anything because I think if you want to avoid spoilers, you should be allowed to. But yeah, the twist was very predictable. That's not a bad thing. And this book overall, loved it. Definitely one of my top from the Universal Monsters. And the next that they're doing is Wolfman. I can't believe they didn't do Wolfman sooner, but I'm so excited. I did do some digital reading earlier in the week. However, it was DC, so I'm not going to talk about it because I'm going to observe the DC boycott. I do have some nuanced feelings about that, you know, as a white woman, that are over on my TikTok. All I'll say here is, yes, it's crazy that DC has not had a Black-led book. They need to change that. However, I don't think we should be just abandoning Black creatives in this. And here's my baby boy. Oh.